Back again. You already know what it is. It's your host, Simon Omishore, and I'm the founder of Vice Versa Live. Wow. It has been a while since I've done this. It's been a while since I've been live, and it's good to be here. It's good to be live. And I'm very, very excited about today's show. I'm going to talk about, a very interesting topic that I think is going to be of great value to you guys, as always. But also, what is going to be good is I'm going to share some new things that's taken place. But before we do all that, let's throw up the right banners. Woo! Come on, you guys already know. If you guys don't know, please do smash a like on this video because that will really help, showing me love. But also, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Smash that subscribe button and also do share with your friends, your family, and anyone you feel this content is going to help. So today's show isn't going to be a long show, but it's going to be a good show as always. And I'm going to be quickly discussing the changes of what's been happening. So for those of you who are regulars, you guys know I've really been pondering on how I can change, shift, and make this show the best it can be. And for a while now, I feel like, the content is good, the connection and the response I'm getting from people is fantastic. But what I found is that for the viewer, it's quite a large amount of content to digest all in one go. And that's just the reality. It's the reality of anything. It is a lot. And my thing as the person who's creating the content is to be able to present it in a way that is easy for you to digest. So that is why I'm now shifting. I'm shifting it to a more micro-sized way for you guys to digest, and also for you to implement it even easier, as it's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's like trying to eat, hundreds of food, and you're not that hungry. But it's better to eat bite-sized or more so smaller sections over a longer period of time, and it's more likely to stick and it's more likely going to harmonize with you as well. So what does that mean for this show? What that means is this show will still be taking place, but in a micro-sized format. So maybe like 5 to 10 videos, where instead of me giving you a 30-minute presentation or a 20-minute presentation, it'll be more 5 minutes, and it's going to be a lot easier for you. But this show will still take place. However, I'll be bringing other guests and other people onto the show, where it will become more like a podcast kind of feel. So it won't be every Wednesday. It may be the first Wednesday and the last Wednesday of the month. So it'll be like 2 episodes per week, but every week, maybe 2 to 3 times in the week, I'll be pushing out smaller, more micro-sized pieces of content that's going to be on, YouTube, and then even smaller ones on Insta and LinkedIn, just so that it's just easier. It's just easier. So that is the big news. So I'm really happy and really excited about it. I think it's going to revolutionize how even I do things, but also how you guys implement it and understand. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really, really excited. And yeah, for this new voyage, this new season, it feels all new and I'm super excited. But with that being said, we move on to today's show, which is all about you guys. So the topic really is, when is the right time to leave your job? And the quick question is there isn't a right time. There just isn't a right time for you to leave your leave your job. But there are things you need to look out for when you are in the process of making that decision. And that is what I'm going to look at right here and right now. So I quite quickly said this, and I think this is the best place to ask. So for those of you on Insta who, you're not watching on YouTube or on Twitch or on Facebook, I put out a question here. So the first question I put out is, what do you want out of life? Now, this is a very, very interesting question, because a lot of people, when they are looking for jobs, they don't actually ask themselves this question. And this is a very, very important question, because knowing when the right time to leave the job or not is generally predicated on the things that you want out of life. So the first thing is for you to become, as I've always said, self-aware, because self-awareness is one of the biggest things that you need, especially when you're coming into your adult life. If you're a Gen Z or if you're a lot older, it's so important to know yourself, because once you know yourself, then you can really ask yourself this kind of question. So you know what you want out of your life. And this is subject to change depending on what season you are in your life. If you're, single, if you're married, if you're, in a relationship, or if you've got different goals, this is where you want to start. So what do you want out of your life? You could want a family. You could want stability. You may want to travel. Once you're able to answer this kind of questions, you're going to be able to understand what kind of job you actually really want, and whether the current job actually fits what you actually want out of life. Because, you look at your work, the work that you do, it's a big portion of your life. If you think of, you do 8 hours a day, the average is an hour to work, an hour back. So essentially you could be at work for 10 hours of the day, and, if you take away sleep, which is your 8 hours, so you got 18 hours of 24 hours. It's a large part of your life that you are investing in. So, if you don't ask yourself this question, what you'll find is you could actually be very frustrated at work, but that doesn't mean that work isn't giving you the right skills or the right challenges. It just means that it's not mirroring what you actually want out of life. So always start with yourself and what do you want out of life? And then it will lead you to this part, which is what is important to you, or what is important for you from work. So once you're able to establish what are the things that you want out of your life, and how would work fit around that, you then look at what is important to you from your work. As I mentioned before, what is it that you want out of life? You could be in a place, and I guess essentially it would still be wrong, even if you were feeling like you were challenged and everything, but because it doesn't match what it is you want from life, you are going to feel the agitations, and you're going to feel that feeling of stuck. Now, understand that feeling of stuck, so many people have that feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm stuck. But really and truly, no one is really stuck. You're only stuck when you're dead, because you can't make no choices. That's it, you're done. As long as you're still alive, essentially you can still pivot yourself and make changes. And generally that's generally the feeling that's generally the response that you're going to do once you have that feeling of stuck, because no one is stuck. Let that marinate in your mind right now. You are not stuck. What it is that your mind and your body is telling you that this isn't essentially maybe where I need to be, and you need to start asking yourself these questions. Now, what is important to you from work? Some of you may be to have a voice, that I'm able to add value. Some of you may feel like, I want to, have a better position in the company. Some of you may be experienced. Some of you may be to upskill. Some of you may be, I don't know, to travel. That's what could be the thing that's spurring you on from work. But those things are questions you have to ask yourself, because if you ask that question, that initial question, okay, what do I want for my life? And now you're asking yourself, okay, that's a tick. I get that now. And what's important for my work? This one I feel is very, very important, especially when you're in it. The first question is generally a question you should be asking yourself pre any job application, pre any job that you're looking to go for. That's a pre question. But this question is one that when you're in your work, the things that are important to you while you're at work, are they being met? If they're not being met, then those are things that you can now start to address and start to unravel. Now, if you don't feel like you're in a position where you've got that voice, or you've got that promotion, or you're adding value, then before any kind of irrational decision like, oh, okay, well, I need to leave, or I need to find a new job, speak to your team, speak to your managers, speak to your line managers, and see what support they can give you in order for you to feel supported and valued at your workplace. That's probably the first thing that you should be doing. A lot of people are going to go off emotions and be like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be here. I need to be somewhere else. I need to level up. I need to do this. I need to do that. No. All those kind of emotional, irrational decisions, you will find that you'll end up back, where you're feeling right now. You'll end up back here. So the first thing to do is address the feeling, unpackage the feeling, and ask yourself the questions. And once you ask yourself those questions, then you can go and go with something positive, something solution orientated to your managers and to your teams, to see what things they can possibly put in place so that you have that feeling of being valued at your workplace. Because more than anything, I think more than pay, more than the benefits, one of the most important things that keeps employees happy and keeps employees at a workplace is the value that is placed on them by the company and how much they are welcomed and received there. And I'm sure you would agree that to be the case. So, okay, we've done that one already. Okay. Why? Okay, this is really weird. I need to edit this properly, because it's been edited wrong, but it's okay. Can I do this? Okay, let me just update this properly so it makes sense, because it's not upskilling. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So the next question I put up is, obviously once you've dated the things that are important to you, and those things have been addressed, the next thing you want to take a look at is what areas do you need upskilling? That's the question I put on YouTube, Insta, the Twitch gang. And for you watching Insta, obviously you're going to get to see, but that's the question. And you're probably thinking, what does that mean? Now, in every job, in every area, no matter where is your work, that is a question you should always be asking yourself before you're thinking of leaving, because there are areas that are, that are weaknesses, and essentially you want to improve. Because if in your mind, your thing is, I'm not improving, nothing's happening here, and you have really kind of a negative disposition, you're always going to do that. So the cycle just continues. Your thing is always has to be a positive, half full. It's half full. No matter how bad the workplace is, the workplace can be absolutely diabolical. But your position needs to be a positive one, because if it's a positive one, I promise you're going to find areas to which you are going to be like, yes, I'm going to get better and I'm going to improve. But in order for you to do that, you need to look at what areas you need to upskill. So you're going to do a SWOT analysis on yourself. Then you're going to want to speak to managers, line managers, peers, to see how you can improve. What areas can I improve? Do I need to improve in my communication? Do I need to improve in my organization? Do I need to improve in, my public speaking? What can I do right here, right now, that's going to get me to that next level before I even think of moving? Because more times, when you are thinking about leaving and going to another job, a lot of the times it can be someone done something to you, someone said something to you, and those things happen because when you're working with people, it's difficult, and people can upset you, but you don't want to respond emotionally. You want to respond in the time that's right to where you are in terms of your skill level. Because I think the greatest thing and the greatest investment that you can make in life and in especially your workplace is in yourself. So if you are working at a company, any company, no matter what your position is, your position should always be, how can I improve? And that is where you need to identify. That's what you need to identify and then address and then execute. And I think once you start executing, you'll find that, maybe it's not a thing where I need to leave. And that goes back to, the initial question, which is, when is the right time to leave? I feel like once you've answered all those questions, you'll then have the right answer. But until you answer all those questions, you don't have the right answer. And this is why I would land on this point here, which is, for those who watch it on Insta, it is to, for those watching on Insta, I put the last bit, which is to create a health list. Now, a health list is a series of questions. So the questions I put up, and you ask yourself these questions over maybe every 3 months, every quarter, and it's just a way of you to assess kind of where you are, and see maybe is it time to leave. A lot of people just go through the motions of things, and you don't want to do that. When you are at work, it's serious, and you should be taking it seriously. And the best way to do that is to keep a track record of where you are. And the best way to do that is by creating a health list or a checklist. But I'd say a health list because ultimately, if things aren't really good for you at work, you'll see them start to filter into other areas of your life, because it does take up such a large part of your life. So really do take a look at that checklist, and really manage that. And then from there, you'll be able to make a right, conscious, and non-emotional or rational decision that will lead you to success, instead of leading you around a mountain or around a corner just to end back right at the place you initially was. So that does bring my you could say presentation to a close. I hope that's really helped. If you haven't already, smash a like on the button, subscribe, and share with your friends and family on, I guess, all your platforms, as I believe this is really going to help you guys scale and really make better decisions in and around your career. So for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, I gave a massive update on where and how I'm moving things around with the channel and with my content. So this show is going to be moving to, you could say, more of a smaller, more micro content that's going to be easier for you guys to digest. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Because as great as I've been doing these videos every Wednesday for the last 8 months, I find that it is very, very big for someone to digest all of this content. So like I've been speaking for the last like 20 minutes or so. So if someone watching this, I don't know, later on, it's quite a lot. So that's why I've decided to do it smaller, so it's easier, clearer, for people to understand and to take in, which is what I want. And what I'm going to do with the rest of the show is I'm going to invite guests, you know, people who work in Netflix, Google, really big companies, and where I get to do, you know, a kind of interview kind of format where they get to talk about, you know, the kind of things that they expect and what the new things happening within the industry. And then, you know, I'll continue to do the live Q&A, but it won't be every Wednesday, unfortunately. It may be maybe 2 episodes a month, and then we'll see from there kind of how it transpires out. So this is the last episode of Vice Versa Live in this capacity anyway. But it's not the end. It's just a shift, but a positive one. So I do normally do a live Q&A. And if there are any questions or anything that anyone has to say, then please do put some comments, whether on Insta, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, hit me up, as I would like to hear. So please do start typing away, because yeah, it's just going to be weird because I'm just going to be looking at you. But yeah, please do, you know, put some comments in about the things I've shared today, or if there's anything that you're going through personally about, you know, maybe a job application, anything at your job, or if you're trying to move job, whatever it is, anything, jobs, careers, do put it in, and then I will to answer as and how and when, to my best of my ability. So yeah, that's that for me. Let me take this off. So yeah, great. Woo, in the building. Detroit in the building. Come on, Insta. Detroit in the building. It's good to see that. I'm glad you're watching. I don't know anyone else here on Twitch gang. You guys saying? Okay, got another follower, which is great. It's always good to get another follower on Twitch. It's good to have you. Anything else out there? Nope. Okay, so with that being said, there are no questions about what I've said, so that means, you know, I've done a fantastic job, which I hope. But this comes to a close. Vice Versa Live. I'm your host, Simon. I hope wishing you guys a fantastic week, and I shall see you all next week, but in a different capacity. Again, micro posts, but I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments, and be on the lookout for the guest I'm going to be bringing on to the show. But that information will be put out on all my socials and here on YouTube as well. But have a fantastic night, have a great week, and thank you all for tuning in. Do take care, and God bless.